Broadcast for shooters, hunters, and gun enthusiasts. This is the Firearms Radio Network. This edition of Gun Guy Radio is supplied by Alien Gear Holsters. AlienGearHolsters.com.
Welcome to episode 148 of Gun Guy Radio. This is a podcast that shines a positive light on the firearms lifestyle. I'm your host, Jake Challand, and this is your weekly dose of positive firearms talk without the politics. Well, no real announcements this week other than the Firearms Radio Network team is gearing up to show up at SHOT Show 2015 in Vegas here in mid-January, so we're all are making our lists for SHOT, I guess, and checking them twice. But speaking of checking lists twice in the holiday season, you can shop Amazon this holiday season by using our affiliate link and at the same time supporting Gun Guy Radio and the Firearms Radio Network. Simply go to any of our websites first, look for the Amazon affiliate link, or bookmark this link, firearmsradio.tv/Amazon. Firearmsradio.tv/Amazon. And every purchase, a small portion comes back to the network and to Gun Guy Radio. And a big shout out to everyone that's been using that link, that used it for Black Friday and Cyber Monday on Amazon. It's really pretty cool to see so many of you shopping through our affiliate link. It really helps keep us in the black. So thank you so much. Well, this week I got to sit down again with John Wong of Revolvr Arms, and not to talk about Revolvr Arms again, but to talk about their new Revolvr app. And he brought along co-founder Tony Bristol that helped create the Revolvr app, where it's a really easy way to buy and sell guns on your phone or online on the internet, web-based version as well. So let's take a little break and we'll get right into the main topic. Welcome back to the Gun Guy Radio main topic, and I have with me the co-founders of the Revolvr app, part of Revolvr Innovation Group, John Wong of Revolvr Arms and Tony Bristol, also of Revolvr Arms. Hey, John. Hey, Tony.
Hi, Jake. Hi, Jake.
John, why don't you tell, we had you on Gun Guy Radio probably, year and a half ago. You told us your very awesome entrepreneurial story of how Revolvr Arms came about. Why don't you give us a little overview of how you know Tony and how the Revolvr app came about?
Yeah, believe it or not, Tony and I go way back. We went to junior high school together, where we became best friends ever since junior high school, and where I would go to his house and he'd make me sleep on the floor, and he'd come to my house and take my bed. He was one of those kinds of best friends, and charged me for his charged me gas, $2 each time I rode in his car. He's a really good guy. But anyway,
that's why you're successful today, John.
That's right, buddy. But anyway, we go way back, and we've been friends for that whole time, and we would just have meetings from time to time. And Tony can tell you a little bit more about his background, but his background is he's been a CEO of major startup companies, a lot of startup companies, as well as being really hands-on with a mobile platform. And so when we would talk a lot about the firearms industry, one of the glaring things was, why is the firearms industry so backwards when it comes to technology? And so we decided to start Revolvr Innovation Group, and one of the first products we decided to launch was our Revolvr app. And basically what this app does is allows you to take pictures of the products that you want to buy or products you want to sell. And you could also browse and check out products you want to sell. And the way I got this idea was my wife was doing, I can't remember what app she was using, but she was using an app where she was like browsing through other people's used handbags and used whatever, and they would buy it and sell it. Granted, my wife doesn't buy a lot of used handbags, but she just thought it was so interesting that women could, buy and sell things that they didn't want, and or didn't use.
My wife is doing that all the time. She's on an app called Garage Sale, and that's how she swaps, kids' clothing and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, and we thought it was so cool because they would sell their stuff, and as soon as they sold their stuff, they have money to buy more stuff. And we thought, wow, what a amazing platform. And then the other thing that we knew there was a huge problem in the industry is right now to buy used products, a lot of times people are using forums and things like that. But as you know, the problem with forums, it's a lot about trust. I'm going to send you money, sometimes through PayPal, which they're anti-gun, as you know. And if they find out it's a firearms transfer or a firearms accessory transfer, they'd freeze your account.
Yeah.
And so, you send cashier's checks or money orders or things like that, really without knowing, am I going to get my product? So we thought this was a huge problem. So we took our app and we incorporated Pistol Pay, which is escrow company. So once you decide to buy a product and you say buy, you put in your credit card information, you hit submit, the money goes then into a separate escrow account. And that escrow doesn't get released until you receive the product. And you say, okay, I like the product, I got it, and then the money gets released to your account. So it's extremely safe. People are buying and selling used accessories, buying and selling new accessories. And what we found was really amazing is we didn't think so many, we thought it was going to be a peer-to-peer solution. But the interesting thing is a lot of micro merchants are also using our platform because they don't have a place to sell their products, right? Legally. I mean, they're selling some stuff on eBay with always crossing their fingers, please don't get banned. And they're selling some things on Amazon, or they're paying gun and these places a pretty large fee. And so we figured a way to not only allow a platform to handle those types of things, but our fees are probably about half of eBay and PayPal fees. If you combine those fees and compare that with our fees, the Pistol Pay and the Revolvr fees, it's probably about half and even more secure. So now our job is, because we did create such an amazing product, we just need to get the word out there, and that's why we're on the show with you today, is to get the word out there of getting more people using this application.
Well, Tony, why don't you kind of tell us a little bit about your background? And I did this with John. I'll have in the show notes a direct link to John's episode where you guys can check that out. Highly recommend it. Had a lot of positive feedback from that interview. Great entrepreneurial story of how Revolvr Arms came about. But Tony, what's your background in like firearms? Like, did you grow up in a gun-friendly household, or did you get into them later in life? And tell us a little bit about your business side of things.
So basically, I grew up, with technology. Really based my career around kind of the early days of the internet. I joined Microsoft in the mid-'90s, did a lot of things with regards to, the old dial-up, technologies that I'm sure we all remember, or at least some of us that are older than 40, where you had the 28.8 modems and the slow internet
were you the
connection.
guy that invented that beeping sound, the annoying sound that the modems made?
Yeah, I took that from John's snoring. That's how he used to sound when he used to sleep on the floor. But no, so I started in the mid-'90s at Microsoft, again, mostly around the online space, the early MSN days and all of that. And, through the years, just was very compelled with how you connect people with services, whether that be electronic bill pay, or whether that be when I worked on the Messenger product back with Microsoft, just really around the whole services area. Left Microsoft in the 2007 year, and decided to start my various startups ventures. Can't say I hit it big with a Google or anything like that, but I've always been into creating new things that make it easier for people to access different things, whether that be a local search, or whether that be voice over IP communications, or with John here with connecting people with their passion, with the firearms that they want to buy and sell. John actually got me into tinkering around with firearms. I was pretty much a newbie before that, and so I am still very much a student of what he's grown and done, and have gotten a lot more plugged into the industry. Whereas before I was mostly just, looking at technology as a way to make things easier for people. So that's a little bit about my background. I've been working now with John for, it's been about a year and a half now. And, it's been an amazing journey as we've been kind of going along here. And, I'm just excited about what we've created and where it's going. And the next 2, 3, 4 years, we've only really hit the tip of the iceberg with Revolvr and the results we've had in a very short amount of time.
So, Tony, I believe you guys launched the Android version of the app first, and now you also the iPhone version out.
We did. Yeah, a little bit a background on kind of the order of how we launched things. So the main part that we wanted to really key on is that, Revolvr is a mobile-first experience. Early 2000s, web was all there was. You had some very early phones with some, browser apps and things like that, but really conducting business on a phone at that time was really, not workable. Now you get to see, like for instance, last year, 20% of all e-commerce transactions were done on the mobile phone during the Christmas season. That is amazing.
I'm sure that's up a lot this year from last year.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure it's a bump up this year. And one thing that Goldman Sachs has actually said is that by 2018, 50% of all e-commerce will actually be done on a mobile phone. That blows my mind that we've gotten to such a state where now 50%, in the future of all e-commerce transactions will be done on a mobile phone. So we didn't want to start with the web and then catch up, to mobile. We wanted to start on mobile and really, provide a great user experience for people who have mobile phones, who have smartphones, Android, iPhone, and really give them a solution for the future. And so that's basically, the idea about where we came from and why we created it the way we created it. And yes, we did start on the Android device. From a developer standpoint, it was a little easier for us to start there. We then built a web app because we had a lot of people asking us, we're not ready to purchase yet on our mobile phone. We want this web tool to be able to do that. And so that's why we created that.
Very cool. Well, I'll throw the next one to John and let Tony unplug his phone here. And John, tell us a little bit about the Pistol Pay interface and like your partnership with them. Tell us a little bit about Pistol Pay.
Yeah, the way that whole process started was when we were looking for a payment solution. We wanted to originally have all the money come in and for us to kind of hold the money so they could purchase other products from our account. But what we found out is we're acting as a bank at that point, and so we couldn't do that legally or ethically. And so we searched around for all these various payment platforms and found out that most of them were anti-gun. And there was one company right before Pistol Pay that started. I can't remember the name. I think it was Gun Pal or something. I don't even know if I should mention the name. If I shouldn't mention that name, you can blop that out. But the bottom line,
it wasn't that, John. Just so you know, that was another service that got started out. But Pistol Pay was the original name of the service that started.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. I'm saying there was another company.
Right. I remember hearing them interviewed. I know what you're talking about, John, and I can't remember the name off the top of my head either. But yeah, they seem to kind of just disappear.
Yeah, not only did this disappear, but they burned a lot of people. I mean, They took a lot of money and they weren't, and so obviously it was difficult to find another company that was doing what this company was doing. So when we hooked up with Pistol Pay, it just made a lot of sense. And we met the founders of Pistol Pay, which is his name's Chapman and another guy by the name of Ian and Ira who will help run that. And basically these guys started Pistol Pay with the idea of, wow, there's this empty space. Let's go help and serve this community. But the issue was because there was another company that tried to do that and wasn't successful, they had a hard time launching Pistol Pay. And so this particular company, Merchant Services, is a top 500 fastest growing companies. They're a 2A friendly merchant service provider, and they do a ton of business and a huge financial backing. And so it was a really nice fit for somebody like Rainier because of our dominance in the firearms industry and our reputation in the firearms industry. We could be kind of the bridge between here's this merchant service providing company or this payment solution company that can't get into the firearms space because they don't have the reputation. Here's a firearms company that wants to get into the payment space, and so we then join forces. And effective last couple of months, we own, I believe, 60%. Rainier Innovation Group owns 60% of Pistol Pay now. And so it's backed by Rainier Arms, as well as the other part of it's backed by Merchant Services, which is one of the larger financial institutions out there doing merchant services and financial payment situations. So it was a perfect fit. So we can provide not only payment solutions, but with an escrow attached to it. So extremely safe platform. And I see if forums and other places like this start adopting Pistol Pay, I think it could be a huge platform for a lot of folks because it's not very expensive and it's secure, and it, quite frankly, it benefits the Second Amendment cause and the things that we're trying to do for the Second Amendment.
Absolutely. Can you outline the fees real quick for Pistol Pay and for using the Revolvr app to do purchases?
Absolutely. I'll let Tony answer that. He's
Sure.
more on that side of things.
Yep. So one of the tenets we had with Revolvr is we wanted to keep it very simple. So what we do is we charge a $1 fee for any transaction. That may go up in the future, but right now we just really want to give users a very simplistic way to sell items on Revolvr. We want to keep it simple. So whether you're selling a expensive $2,000 rifle or you're selling a patch, it's $1. Which makes it very easy for someone who wants to sell something to come on to Revolvr and go ahead and post their item. And when the item gets bought, $1 is paid. The payment piece is 3.75% of the transaction cost, and that is pretty standard throughout the industry. You look at, companies like PayPal, I believe they charge 3.5%. So we're very much in line with other large payment services out there that, transact and credit card interchange fees, range between, 2.5 all the way up to 3.25, depending on the credit card you're using. So there's, not a lot of extra fluff in there when it comes to transacting on Revolvr. We really do want to make this streamlined. Like John says, if you transact on eBay and then combine that with PayPal, you're going to pay a lot more than what we're charging on Revolvr. And there's other services also that we are quite a bit less than. But less. We're not really trying to compete with the fee structure. We're more trying to make it simple. And we believe simplicity is going to win at the end of the day.
Yeah. The other thing that Tony didn't mention is the fact, because it's an escrow piece, you have that safety feature as well. And so let's say, I know we weren't talking about Pistol Pay by itself, but when you're looking at Pistol Pay by itself, that 3.75%, if you break it down between buyer and seller, you're looking at under 2% a piece for the protection of escrow. So in that case, it's very affordable. And even on a program like Revolvr, where the seller is basically picking up the tab, or you can look at it any way you want. At the end of the day, somebody's paying for that, whether it's the buyer or the seller. When you look at from that point of view, along with the dollar transaction fee, it's still very affordable, and people can transact business, buy and sell products all on using their phones. It's a pretty amazing application.
So is the escrow, is that built into every purchase on there, or just some purchases?
Every single purchase has an escrow feature. So the money is not released until you say, yes, I accept, or there's a certain day period, meaning after you get the product, because everything's tracked. Once you get the product, and after I think like 3 days, then the money gets automatically released. But let's say you didn't get the product, or you didn't like the product, or whatever, you say, I didn't like it or I didn't get it, then the money gets sent back, or it gets held until everything gets resolved.
Alien Gear Holsters, the most comfortable and concealable holsters on the planet, is offering big savings with our new 2-holster combo. Now you can buy 2 complete holsters for as little as $49.88. Choose from any available holster styles and colors for the guns of your choice. All of Alien Gear's quality products are made right here in the USA and include a 30-day trial, forever warranty, and free shell trades for life. Visit aliengearholsters.com today.
Okay, well, let's say I'm a seller and I have a Gun Guy Radio morale patch that I want to sell on the Revolvr app. Walk me through the listing and seller process.
Okay. You have, let me see if I can show it to you. You have this app that comes up like this, where you can scroll up and down and to view. But when you want to post something, you just hit this little sell button, and the camera piece comes up. And so you actually use your phone to take photos. And it's quite simple. You take a picture, and I don't know if it's going to pull up on my phone, but I just took a picture of my screen, right? So I can use that, and that'll be one of the photos that's showing there and you can load up to 3 photos there. And then you describe everything, and you tell it whether it's a firearm or not, because we need to know if it's going to be shipped to an FFL. And the neat part is there's this thing called the listing price at the very bottom. I don't know if you can see it on this camera, but you put, let's say, $10 as your listing price. If you put $10 as your listing price, and there's a little question mark. Oh, I got to add the shipping. Let's say $1. You can see how much is left over, meaning it does the math for you to say, okay, there's $1 going to be taken out, and blah blah blah. You're going to get deposited $9.59 if this thing sells. And so if you go, oh yeah, that sounds good, and you hit sell now, then it gets uploaded into our system. Once it gets uploaded into our system, you have access on Android, you have access on Apple, iOS platforms, and you also have access on the website. Our website is very functional, but we're going to further develop that in 2015 to make it very streamlined and very efficient. We had no idea we would get so much traffic through our website, but we're getting, I think right now, more transactions off of our website than our mobile devices. But it's a very simple, straight-out process to list something online.
So it's all fixed price. There's no auction side of it?
No, there is no auction side of it. It's a set price, whatever you decide to sell it for.
Right, because I can see people are going to try to compare this to the eBay or the PayPal of the firearms world. Mm-hmm. What would you say is the closest comparison?
I would say it's almost like the Amazon, or you could say Craigslist without the meeting someone at their house or anything like that. But it's fixed price like Amazon does it, like Craigslist does it, other very popular marketplaces.
The other issue is like for example, I know Gunbroker launched their web version or their Android version or Apple version, their mobile device version, similar time that we did. But the issue is, let's say you buy something on Gunbroker, you don't have the access to pay right there on the spot. Meaning, if I want to buy, for example, this particular trigger, I just click on that, and then there's a buy button. I click on the buy button, and it makes me log into my Pistol Pay account, and I hit buy. You hit a couple of buttons, and you buy the product. It's really, really that simple. And so that's exactly what Tony was talking about. We want to make things simple, so you can list things simply, you can buy things simply. And a lot of times, if people don't want to use their own phone to take photos, they can use the section where you can use Dropbox or your phone gallery or whatever, some of your downloaded folders, whatever, to put a nice image on here. So you pick 3 photos that you want to use. You can cut and paste some of the descriptions off the internet, whatever, so you can list your product. It looks very professional once it's listed. We also have a rating section of, hey, these guys have had 54 ratings and 4.5 bullets, which means thumbs up, etc. So and
that's for the seller, the seller ratings.
Yes, exactly. So if somebody isn't a good seller, they'll get poor ratings, etc. And also because of the whole escrow feature, it really protects a lot of those transactions that's shady, right? And so it makes it extremely safe and very easy to use.
Yeah, and one thing I just wanted to add on, John, we've had only 0.1% of our transactions get disputed. So it's not something that's used too often, but it's nice to have if it ever comes up to where you order something that you don't want. And that's one great thing that I've noticed about this industry, the firearms industry, is that, there's a lot of good people out there. And, people aren't looking to really screw over their fellow firearm, buddy out there. But, every once in a while with any industry, you're going to have some bad apples. And we believe that escrow guarantees both sides, the buyer and the seller, that they're going to have a trusted experience. And if something does go wrong, then we can intervene and make sure the money gets to the right person.
Now, this may involve sellers and buyers. Are there categories or tags that these products are assigned to?
Absolutely. Once you go there, once you get into the application, there's uppers, lowers, there's pistols, there's accessories, there's scopes. There's all these different categories that you can pick. And we have obviously key search boxes that you just type in whatever word you want and hit search, and you can search that way as well. So there's multiple ways to search, multiple ways to categorize things, and we try to make it as easy as possible. As we grow, obviously, there's going to be even more subcategories. But for right now, we have a limited number of subcategories that you can pick, and and then the description will show new or used, all of that stuff. So it's very descriptive, very easy to find, and the search menu helps quite a bit as well. The other advantage that I didn't talk about is, especially early on as we're trying to promote the product and all of that kind of stuff, we tried to showcase certain people's products. And so let's say you're selling a grip, or you're selling a rail system or something like that, and we think, hey, this rail system, it's attractive in price, or it's a rail system that people want or whatever. We'll share that in our network, like the Rainy Arms Facebook page, etc., that has several 100,000 followers, etc. So you get lots of eyeballs seeing your product. So whenever we do a product feature like that, that product typically gets sold, and so it's pretty exciting to get a lot of free exposure as well using this app.
Are there any products that you cannot list that are restricted? That's
a great question. I don't know if we maybe Tony could answer that. Have you seen any destructive devices, Tony, or any NFA items or anything like that, Tony? I know everything's going to be handled through an FFL, so I don't think anything's prohibited per se. But
Right.
the one thing nice is, I will say this, Jake, is we manually have the option to disapprove products. So let's say you're trying to list something and it comes up, and we can say, nope, we don't want to approve that. So obviously, if there's nudity or something like that we just can't have, then we will just disallow that product and let the people know, that your
Right.
product was disapproved for this particular reason. Hey, Tony, are we still approving every single thing that comes up for sale?
We are. We've gone with a community monitored service. So every product allows you to actually flag for abuse if there's a product that maybe is offensive or another person finds that is destructive or should not be on there. So you can imagine, right now we have thousands of products, but in the future when we have millions of products potentially, it's going to be hard to go through every single product. Just like it's hard for Google to look at every single picture that appears in their browser. But we're thinking ahead to try to figure out how do we enable the community to actually find these things and report them to us so that we can act quickly and responsibly. And one more thing, just to add on the legality of the different things that we sell. Whenever you are buying an item that may be restricted, by a state, like let's say certain types of firearms or ammo or things like that, we do post up a message for people to see that, basically just says, look, it is your responsibility to know what you can buy or sell in the state that you're either buying or selling to. And so again, we think that people are responsible and they will do the right thing, and we're empowering people to do the right thing. We're not here to control people. We're here to kind of let the free market reign and give them the information they need to be responsible when they're buying and selling items that they have.
Now, when you're buying a FFL item, like a lower receiver or an actual firearm, how do you tell them what FFL you want them to send that item to, and vice versa?
Right. So great question. So what we do is that when you actually set up your Pistol Pay account, you are asked to also set up your preferred FFL. And we have thousands of FFLs in our Pistol Pay database that we manage and monitor. And you're allowed to go and pick from our list that we have. If there's a new one that you want, then we also have a way that you can actually get new FFLs into our database. But you are required to then pick which FFL you want as your preferred FFL. And from that point forward, when you are purchasing an item that requires an FFL, it automatically puts that address in as the shipping address for the seller, so that they know where to ship that product.
Very cool. That's good to hear that it's that streamlined. So what, John, is the future of the Revolvr app?
What we want to do is make it a safe place for people to buy and sell products, new or used, right? Before I became a firearms distributor, I guess you want to call it that, I used to buy and sell my products all the time. I would buy guns and play with it for a while, or buy an accessory and play with it for a little while, and go, you know what? I want this accessory instead. And, that's the whole fun of being in this industry and getting excited about buying and selling parts and always upgrading your products, right? I started out with, I don't want to make Rock River Arms sound bad, but I started out with the Rock River Arms and had a lot of fun with it, had a great time, but I wanted to upgrade. I wanted to upgrade to an LMT, and then I sold my Rock River Arms and bought an LMT, and then I wanted to upgrade and et cetera. So this app allows you to do that, right? It allows people to continue to buy and sell products, and instead of just your old products just sitting there collecting dust, a lot of times, a lot of my products just sat there and collected dust. This way, it's a real simple way to take photos, list it, get money back into your account in a very safe way, and so you can buy your next product, and that's what it's all about, is for our industry, because there's a lot of guys who are looking for that Revolvr Arms upper at a discounted price, right? So it's perfect. And so it allows us to just further develop that in a very safe way, because right now there isn't a really safe way, because as you know, for whatever reason, the gun industry's hated and they're feared, and it's mainly driven by fear. And so, companies like eBay or Amazon and all of these things frown upon it. So there isn't a really good platform. And the platforms that are out there, we're not really up to date in terms of technology. So we wanted to bring that technology to the firearms friends, and say, hey, mobile and web, and we're going to continue to develop these things. So Revolvr is just a stepping stone, in my opinion, for many other firearms-related technologies that we're going to be trying to bringing out to the community. But, we could only do that, and I told this to Tony, because even when we launched this application, we originally penciled out maybe $20,000, $25,000 to launch this application. It probably cost us over $100,000 to launch this application.
Wow.
And we haven't made any of that back, quite honestly. And so in order for us to continue to develop more applications and continue to develop more products for the industry, we need to make this one successful. And so that's why we're on your show today, and we're also trying to create some awareness of how great this application is, because once people use it, they love it. I've never seen anybody who used it say, this application sucks. Maybe because I'm the co-founder, they don't tell me these things. I don't know, but we haven't heard that. They love it. They're using it. They're like, man, I just listed 3 things and I sold one of them, or I bought 2 things, and the transactions have been very easy and very fluid. And if there's ever any complaints, you email Tony, at revolvr.com. Don't email me, but email Tony, and we get those taken care of for you. No problem.
Well, I'm really impressed with the interface. It's a really clean look, very functional. And the little bit of time I've spent on it, I've been really impressed, with it. Overall, I mean, it's not just, an app that someone threw together. You can tell you guys had a design team and interface team and everything working on it.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time, a lot of money to make it to what it is today. Now, are we going to continue to make improvements on it? Absolutely. We'll make the user interface better and smoother and all of those types of things. But the ultimate thing is we want a bigger network, right? Because once the network gets bigger, there's more products that you can find, etc. So that's been the only downside so far, is that we do have thousands of products listed, but wouldn't it be so much better, like if Tony said, if we had millions of products on there? If we had products like eBay or Amazon, or had that kind of reach, man, that would be awesome. And that's what we're trying to get to. So you can find that used, CZ, whatever that you're looking for, right? Or that used, really oddball product that you're looking for, So that's ultimately what we want, is we want to build that network so the products that you're looking for is found. And the products, that obscure product that you have nothing to do with or you have no use for, there's somebody, in Kansas or Mississippi who wants that product. So that's what we're trying to do right now, is to build that network, because we believe the infrastructure is there. We believe the product's there. We just need to fill it now with the network of people to use it.
Right, and it's only a matter of time, because, like we're saying, you can't list most or any of the stuff on Amazon, eBay, and
that's right.
That's where everyone's moving for their shopping in general. In general, like Tony said, just with the mobile stuff going more and more online, but in general, everything's going online. Forget going to stand in line on Black Friday. Just bring up your iPhone and order, toys on Amazon and guns on the Revolvr app.
Absolutely.
So I think that about wraps it up. So people can get this currently on your iPhone, Android devices, and it's free on both of those, right?
That's right. They're free. And also for people who still love the web, you can go to Revolvr. That's Revolvr without an E at the end, so Revolvr revolvr.com, and you can there's download links there as well. But yeah, absolutely, just download the app. Give the browsing is all free. You don't need to sign up for anything. You don't have to put in any personal information. You only have to put in personal information when you're ready to buy something. So, browse around, see what you find. There's a lot of good discounts in there. There's a lot of, and if you're a micro merchant, meaning just getting started out, and you want an audience to sell to, check it out. It's an amazing product for you. And we wish you lots of success selling and buying product on using your mobile device and online.
Yeah, that you mentioned to browse it, you don't have to sign in. I really liked that. That's a nice thought that you can check it out, try before you buy kind of thing, where you can browse products and not have to create that login. But creating the login is really easy as well. You just punch in your name, email, and then you get a confirmation email. And
absolutely, the one thing is I don't know about you, but almost everybody I know, when they go to the restroom, they take their phone with them, right? And so I know that's kind of gross, right? But, they're sitting down and you can just scroll up and down. And instead of just scrolling your Facebook feed, now you can, scroll through gun parts that you might want to buy, right? So it's a nice option to have for people who do that. So that's awesome.
Well, you heard it here, the app to buy firearms when you're on the crapper.
Yeah, absolutely. You heard it here first.
Heard it here first. The Revolvr app, and so that's revolvr.com, revolvr.com, and then you can also search that in the app stores. And you guys also have a really good Facebook page. I have that linked up in the show notes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's about wraps this up. So thank you, John, and thank you, Tony. Really appreciate you guys coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
You, Jake.
Merry Christmas to you, buddy.
Awesome interview. A big thank you to John and Tony for coming on the program. And in case you missed it, when I originally interviewed John about his entrepreneurial story, that was on episode 77 of Gun Guy Radio. That was what I consider to be one of the best interviews ever in the history of Gun Guy Radio. So go to gunguyradio.com/077 to listen to that video. And I think that has a full-blown video version as well. And this week's version actually has a bonus video of the main interview, unedited, uncut. But if you want to check that out, it's over on Firearms Radio Network's YouTube page at youtube.com/firearmsradio, I believe. But a lot of good stuff coming out of Rainier Arms and Rainier Innovation Group. Really exciting to see all the innovation they're coming out with, not only in firearms but also in technology and new media and apps. So can't wait to see what the future holds. So I'd like to thank Duluth Trading Company for supporting this episode of Gun Guy Radio. My wife said to tell you guys to check out the men's free swinging flannel, or really any of the Duluth long sleeve shirts, because she likes how you don't have to iron them. You can just pull them out of the dryer, hang them up, and they're good to go. And that's what I like about them too. So check out the men's free swinging flannel shirts. Quite often, Duluth will have like free shipping deals and stuff. So just go to gunguyradio.com/Duluth or click through the banner on gunguyradio.com and look at the top of the webpage of Duluth Trading Company and see if they have any deals going on. But I believe they always have deals where you buy like two or more of any item. You'll get like like I'm looking at the free swinging flannel right now, and you'll get $10 off the total price. So if you buy two or more of the free swinging flannel shirts, you save $5 on each shirt. So that's pretty cool, having quantity discounts like that. And I'm actually getting ready to get some more of these free swinging flannels because they're just freaking awesome, and I am, I wear a long sleeve shirt every day in my day job. I'm usually layered up several layers every day because I work outside half the day and or more than half the day a lot of days. So really keeps you warm, good value. They last. I have yet to have one wear out, and they come with Duluth no bull guarantee, 100% satisfaction guarantee. So check it out, gunguyradio.com/Duluth. And I'd also like to thank all the patrons for supporting Gun Guy Radio. Patreon is how you can crowdfund Gun Guy Radio by giving a little as $1 per episode. And if you give $1 per episode, you get some really cool Firearms Radio Network and Gun Guy Radio stickers and all kinds of cool stuff if you decide to pledge at a little bit higher levels. For example, if you give it the $5 level, you get a sweet Gun Guy Radio morale patch. And then if you give it the $15 level, that's where we give out a battle box full of swag. And, it's going to have all kinds of cool stuff, including a $50 Duluth Trading Company gift card, LA Police gear, bailout bags, hats, tactical flashlights, Duke Cannon's Supply Company, U.S. Military Limited Edition box gift set, which is actually an ammo can full of 5 big-ass bricks of soap, and then GunGoddess.com $25 gift cards, and even more things. Too much to list. But, please consider contributing to the episode, to Gun Guy Radio. Help the show grow by going to patreon.com/gun or look for the link in the right-hand side of the website or show notes for our Patreon campaign. And also, if you're looking for awesome graphics artwork, you look no farther than Ryan Cross, Hunter of Design. He's designed all the awesome artwork on the Firearms Radio Network, and he can take your business, your image to the next level. hunterofdesign.com. Well, that about wraps up this week's show, so please share your thoughts and feedback by leaving a comment on the bottom of the show notes at gunguyradio.com/148. And please subscribe on iTunes, leave us an iTunes review, and also consider joining the NRA and the Second Amendment Foundation. I'm a member of them both, and they do things, for the Second Amendment, for our freedom, our gun rights, that, collectively, have been making some really good headway in some areas, in the recent years here. So check those links out in the show notes, and don't forget to shop Brownells and Amazon this holiday season, this Christmas. When you're looking to buy your loved ones gifts, please go through our affiliate links first by going to gunguyradio.com, clicking through those banners, or bookmarking firearmsradio.tv/Amazon. Don't forget to check out all the other awesome shows on the Firearms Radio Network. Subscribe and listen to our master feed at firearmsradio.tv/iTunes. Well, that's a wrap, and we'll see you next week.
This has been a production of the Firearms Radio Network. You can find more information at firearmsradio.tv. Tired of paying high ammo prices? Want more bang for your buck? Need high volume or precision loads? The Reloading Podcast has you covered. From single stage to progressive, the Reloading Podcast has something for everyone. For those who have never pulled a lever, now's the time to start reloading your own cartridges. For those with gunpowder coating your workbench floor, now's the time to take your loads to the next level. ReloadingPodcast.com or search Reloading Podcast on iTunes or your favorite podcatcher app.